Welcome back. Today we join an operation defined by sheer mechanical force, moving earth one bucket at a time. The blue excavator anchors its tracks against the uneven pit floor to maximize leverage. This stability is critical. Digging through compacted strata requires immense breakout force, which the hydraulic cylinders transfer directly to the bucket teeth. The layered rock walls reveal a history of systematic, calculated excavation. Each scoop removes several tons of material, transferring the massive weight to the waiting haul truck. The operator maintains a steady rhythm to keep the logistics chain moving. Continuous extraction is the only way to manage a site this vast. Further down the site, the workflow shifts to finer aggregate. A wheel loader maneuvers to rapidly fill the articulated dump trucks. Its wide bucket is designed for bulk volume rather than pure digging power. The articulated frame of the haul truck allows it to navigate the tight turning radiuses of an active quarry floor. Weight distribution must be perfectly balanced over the axles during loading. An uneven payload can severely compromise traction on the loose gravel. Precision matters as much as volume. The cycle repeats without interruption. Raising the bucket high ensures the material drops cleanly into the center of the bed. This prevents spillage that could otherwise damage the massive transport tires. The loader operator relies on deep spatial awareness to clear the truck's side rails blindly. Dust suppression is a constant challenge in these dry conditions. The fine particulate becomes airborne immediately upon impact. Continuous clearing prevents bottlenecks on the quarry floor. Moving to heavier debris, the extraction strategy changes. The excavator handles uneven rock slabs that a wheel loader cannot easily gather. Its heavy bucket teeth pry loose the compacted reddish-brown earth to separate the stone. Loading these larger fragments requires careful placement to avoid damaging the steel truck bed. Dropping heavy stone from too high sends destructive shock waves through the vehicle's suspension. The operator gently beds the first layer of rock to cushion the subsequent impacts. The base layer absorbs the force. It is heavy, methodical work. Maintenance is often handled directly on the rough terrain to minimize downtime. A mobile crane lowers a massive replacement tire onto the wheel loader's hub. These industrial tires weigh thousands of pounds and require mechanical assistance to maneuver. Technicians use guide straps to precisely align the heavy lug holes with the wheel studs. The loader uses its own bucket as a hydraulic jack to lift the front axle. Tolerances here are tight, despite the massive scale of the equipment. A single misaligned bolt could strip the threads under working load. Transporting heavy machinery across the site requires strict logistical planning. The excavator is carefully tracked onto a reinforced flatbed trailer. Its boom and bucket are extended and grounded to lower the center of gravity. This prevents dangerous load shifting on the uneven dirt access roads. Ground guides ensure the tracks rest perfectly centered on the steel deck. Even slight overhangs create hazardous imbalances once the trailer begins moving. At the marble face, the equipment takes on a different role. Modified front-end loaders swap their buckets for heavy-duty lifting forks. The hydraulic system must sustain immense static pressure to keep the rough-cut stone elevated. Moving these dense hot blocks requires constant, smooth momentum management. A sudden stop would pitch the multi-ton payload forward, threatening to tip the machine entirely. The operators intentionally keep the forks low to the ground to preserve their center of gravity. Navigating the tiered quarry walls requires careful mechanical coordination. The operators maintain steady throttle to conquer the incline without stalling the heavy load. Pushing the blocks directly across the dust floor is sometimes safer than carrying them. This dragging technique significantly reduces hydraulic strain on the lifting cylinders. Positioning the marble for transport is a slow, deliberate alignment process. Rushing now risks fracturing the valuable stone before it ever leaves the pit. trenching operations demand relentless, precise repetition. The excavator bites into the compacted earth, defining the new boundaries of the lower pit. The steep angle of the newly carved trench walls is carefully calculated. Soil possesses a natural angle of repose. Exceeding this safe gradient risks a sudden, catastrophic collapse of the entire wall. By cutting at this specific slope, the operator ensures the structural integrity of the excavation. The swing cycle from the pit to the truck is optimized for maximum efficiency. Every wasted degree of rotation costs fuel and valuable seconds. The haul fleet cycles through continuously, so the massive machine never has to idle. the scale of extraction shifts entirely with the bucket wheel excavator. This multi-story colossus does not dig. It continuously mines. The rotating wheel is lined with individual buckets that strip the dark coal seam in a smooth arc. As the wheel turns, gravity empties each bucket onto a high-speed internal conveyor system. This continuous flow mechanism is vastly more efficient for soft, uniform strata than traditional shovel excavation. The giant machine advances slowly along the face, carving out perfectly parallel terraces. It operates as a mobile processing plant, transferring raw material seamlessly across the vast pit. In the wettest sections of the mine, the machinery faces a different challenge. The dense, saturated soil sticks to the bucket, adding immense dead weight to every swing. Massive tracks spread the excavator's weight over a larger surface area to prevent sinking into the unstable ground. Dumping wet material requires a sharp, sudden stop at the end of the boom's arc. The kinetic shock breaks the suction, forcing the sticky mud to release from the steel. It is a slow, brutal fight against heavy earth. The final logistical chain relies on sheer transport volume. Lever excavators work quickly to top off the massive Caterpillar haul trucks. The suspension on these haulers is designed to compress dynamically under the falling rock. This flexibility absorbs impacts that would otherwise shatter a rigid chassis. Once fully loaded, the immense diesel engines spool up to generate massive climbing torque. Dark exhaust signals the sudden, heavy fuel demand. Maintaining momentum on the steep incline is critical. A fully loaded truck stopping on a grade requires tremendous energy to overcome inertia. Deep in the trench, the Terex excavator showcases raw, unyielding digging force. The front shovel configuration pushes into the bank rather than pulling back. This utilizes the machine's entire forward momentum to drive the teeth through compacted subsoil. The high cab placement gives the operator a clear line of sight directly into the receiving truck bed. What began as a solid cliff face is now a precisely carved artery deep into the earth. The steep, layered walls stand as a testament to the methodical application of mechanical force. Landscape and structure have been permanently altered by this immense effort. The cycle of extraction continues, reshaping the horizon one heavy load at a time.